Mm. It's me, your guy. Today I'm in quite a comfy outfit because I'm about to talk about something pretty heavy. Not heavy like the song I just dropped last night. Check it out. But heavy emotionally. If you read the title, you already know what this is about. Well, One Piece fans, let's talk about Borsalino, Kizaru, and Egghead. So, before Egghead Island, it was nearly impossible to get a read on Kizaru. His face was just always so quote unquote expressionless, but also calm. Just, here's the warning now. There's gonna be a bunch of spoilers. So, if you have not caught up to Egghead Island, or the rest of Egghead Island in the manga, I don't recommend watching this because there's gonna be so many spoilers. So, Kizaru is on the ship heading towards Egghead with a giant armada of marine battleships ready to handle the threat at Egghead Island. What is he supposed to do today? He's putting an end to his best friend in the name of justice because the government told him to. We learn many times throughout this arc that Borsalino is literally Vegapunk's best friend. Or the other way around. Because I think Vegapunk has another best friend. And that's for a whole different video. So, after the CP agents, CP5, 7, 8, all those guys, fail to annihilate Vegapunk because it had been reported he had been looking into the Void Century, they decide to send Kizaru and Saint Saturn. Now, Kizaru isn't really liking this. Egghead is somewhere where Kizaru had a lot of some of his favorite moments in life develop. Kizaru, if you look at the pacifistas, they all use the same type of lasers that Kizaru shoots out of him. So now we got him just bracing himself to go onto the island. Before they could go onto the island, though, there's a short exchange between him and Sentomaru where he's just eating ramen and contemplating his life while telling Sentomaru that it would be better to just comply with him. And Sentomaru not complying was not good. Now we skip a little ahead now to when we return to Kizaru landing on Egghead. You see, Kizaru, he's able to go through light-based things because he's got the glint Logia fruit. He's able to bust through the barrier and get to Sentomaru in an epic fight between Sentomaru and Kizaru. Some crazy backstory here. Kizaru, Vegapunk, and Sentomaru. Vegapunk and Kizaru were sent to go handle a problem that Sentomaru had already handled because he was just aimlessly kicking these things' asses in sumo. This boy was owning these wild animals, and he took him in. Vegapunk took him in, and thus began the child that both Kizaru and Vegapunk both kind of somewhat fathered in some way. So that's what makes Kizaru kicking Sentomaru's ass hit way more. Because Kizaru literally had to go no freaking mercy on Sentomaru. Now we go to the next little bit, because we get into Luffy versus Kizaru, which was one of the most insane and kind of defining moments of Kizaru and Egghead. It was so rough for Kizaru to go against Gear 5 Luffy. Somehow, Luffy was even able to grab him like frickin' Patrick from SpongeBob gripping Squidward, thinking he's a Squidward action figure, straight treating Kizaru like a Kizaru action figure, and threw his ass far away. But he ends up coming back because he's almost about to touch the water. Literally, Kizaru, I think one of the coolest things he was able to do was this moment I'm about to go into, where he comes back with a whole bunch of light clones, like freaking Naruto, and come back at Luffy while still like going towards his main objective and having the main body go towards Vegapunk, because all in all, he's there to dispatch Vegapunk, unfortunately. So Luffy ends up putting a stop to that. I think I accidentally reversed the order of events here, but it is what it is. So after Luffy kicked Kizaru's ass, oh no, I'm right here. He straight up punches Kizaru and knocks Kizaru's ass out. He does. Doesn't knock him out. It just puts him down for a little bit because he star punches his head. Now, to evaluate the situation here, Kizaru is able to take on a Yonko level pirate and still hold his own. I personally think if he didn't have the situation he did at that point in time, where his main primary focus was offing Vegapunk, he would do so much more, because he was just holding off Luffy, playing more defensive, then aggressive, and Next time he really does anything insane is straight up when he stabs Vegapunk. Yeah, he ends up succeeding after going through the entire Kuma backstory, which the Kuma backstory has so much with Kizaru involved as well. You know what? I'm a sidetrack here to the Kuma backstory because the Kuma backstory involves a lot of Borsellino here expressing some genuine emotions that you never really saw from him. For instance, you even got him doing the Nika dance. Pizza parties with Vegapunk, Bonnie, and Kuma. Being situated to be the guy to just watch over Vegapunk and Kuma for the entire 6-month period plus it takes to commit Kuma into a freaking ass-kicking cyborg from another dimension. You see so much of even Kizaru oddly bonding with Kuma. So, when I started this video, I said it was very hard to read Kizaru because he was just so expressionless. And seeing this man happy, go from all these happy moments to when he realized he did what he did, he just got blasted into his ship after stabbing Vegapunk. And he just sat there like this. Laid there like this. And you know what he was doing? He was crying. Twice this arc also, he was accused of slacking, but he in fact was not. In a way, I'd say one of the most important points of Kizaru at Egghead is the fact that he's at the point in his life now with the Marines where he's just too tight on a leash. He's got his former his former fellow admiral as a fleet admiral now, who Kizaru himself is a few years older than, talking down to Kizaru. You got him he just got forced to kill his best friend by the world government. He has effectively lost a lot of his own autonomy for the sake of justice here. And even though he fights for the sake of justice and understands that he might not be making the right decisions with all this stuff, because he's very empathetic, as we found out in this arc, he is ultimately stuck in a situation that Garp had wanted to avoid himself. Now we get to the end of Egghead Island, the intro chapter to Elbaf, the long-awaited giant arc. And Sakazuki wants a field report And Kizaru tells him, it's best you get it from the other, it's best you get it from the other guys and not me, in a sense. Not exactly what he says, but something similar, because the chapter comes out Monday. However, this is all but confirmed already. And Sakazuki accuses him now the second time anyone has accused him of slacking. Sakazuki says, "Are you slacking?" And Kizaru got livid. That was the snapping point that made Kizaru lose his cool and said, if you want to find out the results of it yourself, come and to Egghead and check out what it is here, you damn ingrate. He freaking blows up at Sakazuki, which anyone else blows up at Sakazuki, it would go way different. You know it would go way different. I know it would go way different. However, Sakazuki apologized. He straight up mea culpa'd him and said, "Forgive me, brother." And he used the word Kyodai to describe him in the non-English version. Now, there are many honorifics for brother, like Nissan, but Kyodai is a way to describe, like, maybe my dear older brother, sort of. Like, my siblings would call me Kyodai. One more thing about this Kizaru blowing up thing. He literally got the Oda crying panel, where there's tears and droops of snot coming from him. That's how sad he is. Kizaru is a broken man right now, because he was forced to break. And that's horrifying. Being forced in position because if you don't, I don't even know what would happen if Kizaru had said no to this. And that just makes me scared. Kizaru had no choice in the matter but to go to the place that he called home for a little bit. A place where so many of his best memories were formed. A place where the most important bonds he had ever made in his life, the most joy he had experienced, he was forced into destroying said place. We saw Egghead at the end of that. It looked pretty... It's pretty not good there. It's pretty not good there. And, it's just sad to see Kizaru like this. Now, going forward, I have a feeling that Kizaru now understands why Kuzan left. Because Honestly, this heavily reminds me of Sakazuki kicking Kuzan's ass, then Kuzan wanting to leave because he feels he would not be right to serve under Akainu as fleet admiral. And I think Kizaru is understanding why maybe Sakazuki as a fleet admiral would is not a good thing. Well, I can't believe I went 20 minutes on this rant slash deep dive. I don't have many pictures to throw on this one, and this one is more of a bare bones. You guys are looking at me talking to you. But Kizaru really had me thinking, and I really like making these rant videos.